Hi, welcome to the Andy Ramirez Report, VLog20. Now, normally I don't do more than one of these a week, but I don't know. I'm a little perturbed, and I'm kind of channeling Howard Beale tonight. If you remember the great movie Network from the 1970s, I'm doing Howard Beale tonight. It's not the mad prophet of the airways, but I'm a little pissed off. And I'm going to get into a few things here. First and foremost, we all know that I pepper my video logs, my Andy reports, and there's a reason for that. Because number one, this is not going to be bullshit. Yes, I'm going to use the word bullshit, but it's because I've had enough of Washington's bullshit. Now, first and foremost, I think, speaking here as a person who's been active on both sides of the aisle, I think the average elected Democrat is completely full of bullshit. While John Boehner, Eric Cantor, Paul Ryan, and quite a few others in my party, the Republican Party, are equally full of bullshit. How else can one possibly explain how both 43 and 44's administrations have gotten away with the bullshit that they both did? I mean, for those of you schmucks out there who keep posting you want Junior Bush back, or are planning on supporting Jeb Bush, his brother, I mean, what the F? Here are three things that should give you pause when you think of the previous Bush administrations. Well, make it four. Let's go back to Daddy there, to Poppy. I mean, first and foremost, you have a former CIA director and a former head of the Republican National Committee. So in other words, you got the ultimate spook as the head of CIA and the ultimate political hack as the head of the National Committee there, who became vice president and president. We all know about Zapata and what that company was all about and who it was a front for. And then along the road, with all of the bullshit between Mexico and that administration, 41, including amnesty, because anybody who thinks that it was solely President Reagan, no, bullshit. George H.W. Bush. So let's cut the bullshit. So you're saying you want this back, right? Now, then you bring along Junior Bush. Are you freaking kidding me? Let me give you three items that should give you pause to wanting this back. The Department of Horseshit. Yes, Homeland Security. The Patriot Act. Who gave us the Foreign Intel Surveillance Act, which is used by the Obama administration to monitor American citizens. And finally, Johnny Satan Sutton. I'll add a little subscript there because Sutton's responsible. This is the dirty laundry. You have the House of Death, which is a corrupt cover-up by both Homeland Security and the Justice Department for a little botched-up cigarette operation out of Beverly Hills Cop that turned into a mass murder issue that only got exposed because a couple of DEA agents were nearly grabbed by some bad guys. Instead of 43 doing the right thing, closing the border and firing people, no, we had a friggin' cover-up. And we want this back? I think some people out there need to get their damn heads examined because you are obviously full of bullshit. I mean, let's think about this. Junior Bush, 43. He was the worst Republican labeled president in U.S. history. And then we've got Barack Hussein Obama. Now, you can fill in the real name blank, whatever, if you wish. You can say he's born here, he's born there. The fact of the matter is what still remains. He is the worst president of all time and has set race relations back in a way that even Cedric the Entertainer couldn't make funny in a barbershop movie. Let's call it like it is. He is a radical socialist Muslim, regardless of where he was really born. And we all know his life is bullshit. I haven't seen a cover story like that even the CIA could conjure up. Hollywood couldn't even come up with this crap. Now, friends, I know we're all sick of it. We're tired of hearing about amnesty. We're tired of hearing about the Democrats and, this is a joke and Republicans are trying to dig up conspiracies. Conspiracies? I'm sure there were probably 23 charges of treason that could be made against this administration. I mean, let me ask a question of Hollywood, and specifically the Jewish community. How in the hell do you back this radical Muslim socialist, a guy who has done everything to screw up the Middle East? So, you've got this whole nonsense coming out of Washington with this president who's clearly screwed up the entire Middle East. Look at North Africa. Look at Arab Spring. Look at the Muslim Brotherhood. Look what happened to Libya, Egypt, Algeria, Morocco. I mean, look the entire rim of how North Africa got screwed up. And now they're playing games with Sudan, South Sudan. Look at Syria. Look at how they've screwed up everything that they've gotten their hands on. And yet Hollywood and the Jewish community funneled millions to his campaign. What kind of bullshit is that? Yet that's who they wanted. That's who they got. And that's who was undermining Israel. That's who was undermining all of our allies across the world. You know, this gentleman ought to call himself a Stab America in the Back World Tour. And then Michelle and her recent asinine comments about how every Hispanic, the fat Hispanic line that she did before the group she was at. I don't need to mention them by name. Who the hell gave her the right to further add to that? You know, enough of these damn Obamas. Mooch and Barry need to go once and for all. Congress needs to stop pussyfooting around and start filing impeachment paperwork, because these guys have been guilty of treason all along. They're selling out law enforcement. They've led to the murders of hundreds of Mexican nationals inside of Mexico by giving the cartels guns and then trying to play the little gun grab game with that, which also led to the murder of Brian Terry. And once again, I will say this. If you don't think that Janet Napolitano is involved, if you don't think that Eric Holder is involved, and if you don't think Barry Obama is involved, you're full of shit. And I'm speaking to Cummings, Conyers, Maxine Waters, and every last one of you, Sheila Jackson Lee, who gets up in Washington with your beloved CBC that has done more to undermine the black communities than represent them. You represent yourselves, just as the Hispanic caucus represents themselves. Only difference is they also represent Mexico. So enough of your bullshit. It's time to throw all these bastards out on the left and throw the globalists out, these rhinos masquerading and calling themselves, in some cases, conservatives. Because they're full of shit, they're not. Let's put in some regular Americans in there, and I'll bet you we'd get a little bit better than where we are today. I don't know, but like I said, I'm feeling a Howard Beale moment. I'm sick of this bullshit. I mean, what the F? It's time to put an end to this crap once and for all. Now, I know you can all do it out there. You can have your Howard Beale moment. You can go to the window and open it up and say, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take this anymore. You can do that. Or you could just simply call Washington Monday. Call him Tuesday. Call him whenever you want. And say, hey, Congressman. Hey, Senator. What the F? You're not fooling anyone. I'm calling bullshit. And start having some primary elections this next time. If you know a guy is refusing to do their job and investigate the administration and hold them accountable, there's your answer. Primary time. If you know somebody who is voting for amnesty, though the Department of Horseshit is as corrupt as it is with the sandbagging of investigations, with the internal corruption that's gone on for years, with the internal de facto amnesty by managers refusing to let the agents do their jobs, by telling us the system worked when it didn't, then you know what? It's time to reform things. It's time to reform DHS. But you know what? You want to do this? You start throwing politicians out at the next primary election. Then we'll get somewhere. Contested primaries is the answer. That's it for now. I'll be back again soon.